Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Piraveenan. I am a lecturer at the University of Sydney within the Faculty of Engineering and Information Technologies. One thing I would like to tell you, all of you guys, first of all, is that I was a person who never made excuses. I was a person who never asked for a quarter. I could have said that I did not have electricity while I was studying. I could have said that I did not have laboratories or a library while I was studying. I could have said that there was a conflict in my area while I was studying. When I went to Australia, I could have said that there were no relatives, no friends, no family while I was studying. I could have said that I was basically computer illiterate when I started studying computer engineering. But I did not say any of these things. I was the first student to be represented by Adlocate Private Limited. I was within the first 5 students in my A-level batch, which was 99 A-level batch. In fact, I was 4th in terms of ranking. And I was the only student to win a full scholarship to Australia in that year, to the prestigious University of Adelaide. This scholarship included tuition fees as well as a $10,000 living expenses stipend, which at that time was a lot of money. Receiving this scholarship, I parachuted myself into a new country, a new culture, a new way of living, and I started building my future. My experience in Adelaide, in Australia, helped me a lot to develop myself as a person. I am still grateful to my teachers at the University of Adelaide because they put their heart and soul into teaching, into guiding us. There were several teachers who knew each of us by name. Now that would have been a great feat even in Sri Lanka, but it is certainly a very great feat in Australia when people have different kinds of names: Chinese names, Japanese names, African names, Arabian names, English names, Sri Lankan names, so on and so forth. So I was lucky enough to be educated by such great lecturers, professors, tutors, and other people who really cared about our education at the University of Adelaide. I did 2 internships while I was studying there. They were both very, very exciting. One of them, which I would particularly like to mention, was a joint project with the CSIR, which stands for the Commonwealth Science and Industrial Research Organization, and NASA, which you all know about, the National Aeronautics and Research Administration from the USA. So this research project really shaped up my career as a research scientist, as an academic. After finishing my degree, which was Computer Systems Engineering, with a first-class honors and a high distinction average, I started my PhD at the University of Sydney under the guidance and the supervision of Professor Albert Zumaya, who is one of the world well-known experts in the field of distributed computer systems. He is so well known that whenever I visit the Sri Lankan academics office in the field of distributed computing systems, I could see the books written by Professor Albert Zumaya. So I could point to one of those books and say, that is my supervisor, and people would know who he is. So this renowned professor supervised my PhD candidation, and he was very, very supportive throughout my candidation, including a time when I was severely unwell and had to be admitted to a hospital here in Sri Lanka. I actually ended up doing 1 year of my PhD remotely. This was supported because they could understand my potential, and it is in the Australian university culture to support a student and understand their individual circumstances rather than hindering them in their path. I completed my PhD with a lot of journal and conference publications in the year of 2010, and I have been a lecturer at the University of Sydney ever since. People often ask me, why you went to Australia? They say you could have gone into a Sri Lankan university, any Sri Lankan university that you chose. Why did you go to Australia? My answer is threefold. First of all, I received a world-class education. Many universities in Australia, including the University of Sydney that I work for these days, as well as the University of Adelaide where I studied, are consistently ranked within the top 100 in the world. Their engineering education is not only very sound in terms of theoretical knowledge, but also very good in terms of giving practical experience to the students. The lecturers and the professors really make it a point to prepare the students for the industry, for the research career, whatever career they go into. So the education with the facilities, the world-class libraries, the world-class laboratories, the exposure to top academics from other universities in the world, all of this really helped me to get a high-class education. That is point number one. Point number two, it really developed me as a human being, as a person, because I was able to meet a huge cross-section of people and interact with them. That included Americans, Chinese, Canadians, Indians, Arabs, Africans, so on and so forth. And I was really able to understand their way of living, their culture, how great they are in each their own way. That really helped me as a person. Thirdly, it gave me opportunities. Australia, as you know, is a first world country. If you have an Australian passport, you could travel to pretty much any country in the world without a visa. So I've been to Germany, I've been to France, I've been to the United States, and I've met top academics in all these places. And this exposure, breaking out of Sri Lanka into the world stage, into the first world stage, was really important, is really important, will be really important for all of you. And for these three reasons, I would strongly recommend anybody who gets the opportunity to go and study in Australia. Not just any university in Australia, that's very important, but among the top universities in Australia. It will be a very good opportunities that you cannot afford to miss. At the moment, I work as an academic with the University of Sydney, as I've mentioned. I started this career after working in the industry for a while as a software engineer and later on a research engineer. My first employment was with SpectraQuest, which was a software firm within the city of Adelaide. And later on, I worked as a software engineer for the CSIRO, as I've mentioned, the Commonwealth Science and Industrial Research Organization. So as you can see, I've had a fairly diverse career which touched upon the industry, the research industry, as well as the academia. This has given me a very balanced profile from which I can draw upon when I am delivering my lectures both in Australia as well as in Sri Lanka. You guys would know when you progress in life that successful people are grateful and grateful people are successful. I have been successful, I think, without losing modesty I can say, and to this I am grateful to a number of people and organizations. And I can say, without any false pretense, that Advocate and Mr. Palitha Vijayasuriya particularly is foremost among them. I found Advocate and the staff at Advocate very professional, very thorough, and very much focusing on details and understanding the needs of each and every individual client. This has really helped me to apply for very good universities in Australia, about which they explained in a lot of detail indeed. And this has really helped me to receive the scholarship that I have received. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the young people who actually want to go and study in Australia, my advice has 4 points. First of all, remember why you are there. Australia offers a lot of opportunities to be entertained, to enjoy life. You can make friends, you can go clubbing, you can go hang gliding, you can go bowling, you can do a lot of things. So there are a lot of opportunities to be entertained, and you might be away from your parents and families. So it might be tempting. But remember that first and foremost, you are there to study. There is no free lunch in the world. Anything that comes without hard work, anything that comes in abundance is not likely to be good for you. And the fourth pointer that I can give you is be positive. No matter whatever happens, be positive. Remember this moment, if you are watching this, remember this moment when this academic from the University of Sydney Faculty of Engineering told you before you left for Australia. There is no problem in the world which cannot be solved. I guarantee you there will be times for you in Australia when you are away from your family, away from your friends, away from your established support system, that you might be worried, you might have challenges regarding your health, your finances, your mental health even, whatever it is. But remember that there is no problem in the world which cannot be solved. Australian universities are very good in providing adequate and necessary support to young people. Stay positive and seek help. You will always come up on top. I found the staff at Adlocate professional, paying attention to detail and really caring about the individual needs of each and every student. Not only they did that while we were interacting with them, but they followed it up. After we went to the university, they still cared about our well-being and they followed up regarding our well-being. I could say without any hesitation that Adlocate really puts their hearts and souls, really cares about the students that they help, they send to Australia for higher studies.